Well, hello, Mission Bible family and friends. Here we are with another Midweek in the Word. It's exciting. The reading that we've been in 1 Samuel, lots of drama.
Lots of drama.
Lots of ups, downs, characters, divine intervention, people getting in the way, people sinning, so much stuff.
Mm-hmm. People prophesying that didn't have any business prophesying.
People prophesying that didn't have any business prophesying. Right. Lots of stuff going on.
Yeah.
So we're going to cover, I think you dip into a little bit of maybe last week's reading toward the end. Yeah. And then we come up because we do this on Wednesday,
Sort of.
Thursday-ish. Yeah. But we wanted to just cover a couple things here that I think will be helpful. We want to mention at the end of this two things coming up in the life of Mission Bible that we hope will be encouraging to you as well. Yeah. But let's dive in. I think you're in 1 Samuel
13.
13.
Yes. So here is Saul, somewhere in the middle of all the battles that he's part of. And he has lack of faith. And that lack of faith leads to his disobedience and sin. It's what is this bleating of the sheep? It's kind of around that time. So he's always taking on more than what he's supposed to and presuming too much when he does. So first you see Saul just totally missing the mark, and his sinfulness could really get in the way of what the Lord is doing. And then a few verses later, so that's maybe 13 and 14, and then you go down to 19 through 22, and you see this really strange bit about how they couldn't sharpen their swords, like just their plowshares and things like that. Just very strange little piece that's put in there. But what we see from that is, okay, so how are they going to fight? Right. How are they going to go to battle if they don't have proper weapons other than like plowshares and things that they are allowed to use? So those are a lot of limitations. You have someone's character as a limitation, and we see that today, like in leadership. And then you have just provisions, resources, or outside resistance. And we see that, come into play in life as well, both spiritually and also like as a larger whole, just as a community, as a nation, as the world. But God, one of these notes that I saw, or I may have heard a lady that was commenting on this, she said, God can bend sin towards his plan. And he's not limited by man's boundaries. Wow. So, there are times I see this, I appreciate this more now that I'm a parent. I see it differently. But you've probably experienced other things in your life, other positions or relationships where you can see that too, where you get really frustrated with someone or even yourself. Even I look inward at myself or in the mirror and see like, how many things have I kept the Lord from being able to do in my life? Yeah. That's a weight and a guilt that I've carried in my life before, thinking, well, if I would have done this better at 20, where would I be today? Am I the cause for something not progressing? And sometimes we do have to look at that and look upward and repent. But as a parent, when I think of it in those terms, I think about how, oh no, we're doing the thing. Mommy and Daddy we're going to do the thing. Our family's leading this way. We're walking this way. We're going to do the thing. Right. But this child or these children or whatever, they're just making it hard on themselves. Exactly. And that's what we see from Saul, because guess what? God's going to do the thing. Right. He's going to be steadfast, and he's not going to forsake his people just because there's some numbskulls.
Right.
Numbskulls.
That's a good word.
Is that the right way?
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah. In the way. And he's going to do that for me, even when I miss the boat sometimes, or when I'm like, I don't have what I need, or there's too much resistance. God's not limited by those things. Right. And we don't have to be upset or worry if we're submitting to his will and walking in his way, and we have a contrite spirit. We can trust that God is good, even when we are not, even when we can't see victory. So my prayer there was, God, that you would use our weakness to accomplish your good. Yeah. So it's like, he knows even the things that I'm going to do that's going to get in the way, or I would say get in the way, and he can bend those things for his glory. So they had sin, wrong tools, outside forces. Yeah. All that was stacked against them.
And the sin and the wrong tools really just robbed them of the blessing.
Yeah.
Outside forces they really couldn't control, but none of that got in God's way from accomplishing as well. That's powerful, honey.
Thank you.
Good observation. And it's just riveting. There's so much here. We were sitting down where we used to video from, the chairs. And
one or two times, yeah.
One or two times. So we were sitting down and looking, and like every entry we shared, it was like, well, what do you want to share? Well, I decided in 1 Samuel 17:52, in the reading there, this is when you've got Goliath, right? It's David comes down, and we all know the story of David and Goliath. So let me just hasten for time's sake. David goes out, takes out Goliath, right? The Lord plants that stone right in the center of Goliath's forehead. David goes and takes his own sword, Goliath's sword that is, and cuts his head off. And then the Bible says in 1 Samuel 17:52, and the men of Israel and Judah rose with a shout and pursued the Philistines as far as Gath. Now, I have read that previously in my Christian life and walk and thought, those bunch of just weaklings, they were sitting there scared to death when Goliath was out there yelling at them. And now that the big enemy's been destroyed, well, of course they're going to look all big and strong. And thought, man, and that's because I wrongly would write myself into the story as David. I already finished that sentence. But as David. But I got news for you, brother and sister Christ. We're the Israelite army in this story. We're the ones cowering back, not having the equipment or the tools, and kind of caught in fear. Yeah. And our champion, the Lord Jesus Christ, is the one who has put the enemy under his feet. And he has conquered him at Calvary and rose from the grave on the third day. And now we get to pursue after. We get to storm the gates of hell for God's glory because we're fighting from victory, not for victory. Once David defeated Goliath, the frightened Israelites were emboldened to storm after the enemy and pursue. They chased them off and they plundered their camp. Now, I don't want to over-spiritualize what we do, like in making disciples and evangelism, but that's exactly what we do. We chase after who the enemy has deceived. We go after them and try to shine the light in dark places. We've not only been delivered, we can storm after, we can chase after them, and we can plunder what he's stolen. What has he stolen? People, right? He's taken people. And we want to claim them back for the glory of God. We want to go after them and say, no, here's the light. Here's the truth. His name is Jesus Christ. My response was, Lord, I'm not David. I'm an Israelite in this account. Give me the boldness to run after the enemy and chase after the souls that he thought he had claimed for his own. You are with us. Boy, that's a theme all throughout this. It's a theme through the Psalms that we're dealing with, and the Psalms of Ascent on Sunday. God is with us. And in fact, this Sunday, one of my favorite ones, Psalm 124, if it had not been for the Lord on our side. And then David calls out to the Israel and says, hey, Israel, say it with me. If it had not been for the Lord who was on our side. And just think about how you would finish that sentence. I hope you have lived life by faith enough that you've got a rest of that sentence where you've seen the Lord move dramatically in your life. And we're going to talk about that Sunday. I'm looking forward to that.
Are you going to sing
Sunday.
that song?
Maybe. I was rocking it out with Helen Baylor in the car on the way to BJ's today because I just couldn't shake it. I was going, if it had. And I thought, I've got that in my iTunes somewhere. Pulled it up. There it was. Way back.
Yeah.
90s.
Yeah.
90s got Wow Gospel is where that one came from. Yeah. That goes way back. I tell you, God's word is rich. Get in the word so the word can get in you. We were talking about a couple of things.
Yes.
Well, you all don't know that, but I'm
trying
just
to remember what they
reminding us.
were because
Well,
we had
there's
some
a
bloopers.
Well, that's true. It's true. So
I had to recover.
we were talking about, though, this Sunday night, and I'm going to send a video to our church family, a quick short video to really walk through this Sunday night, and that'll go to everybody that's been attending regularly. We're talking about this Sunday night, what we're going to do, and we're talking about, it seems far away, and we have other events before then, but in September, our community groups. Okay, so let's do a little Q&A here.
Okay.
So where are we going Sunday night?
We're going to Reedy Creek Park.
Yes.
Which is not far from the church.
7 minutes.
It's so close that if you don't go ahead and pack your dinner and bring it, you're probably not going to see anything.
You won't pass anything on the way.
Yeah, it's pretty close.
You'll have to detour to get to a Wendy's or something like that.
So I highly encourage you to pack something yummy and refreshing.
Yeah.
Maybe pack something extra for those who don't.
Right,
because that happens sometimes.
Good word.
Yeah.
We're going to take, the church is going to take this big cooler. I want you to bring your own waters, like water bottles. Everybody's got them.
Everybody
I know you've got
does.
metal ones.
Yeah, you don't.
Because we hear them on Sunday on the wood floor.
Everybody does.
Everybody
everywhere.
does. Yeah. So take your water bottles. We're going to take one of those big igloo stand-up coolers to refill anybody's water that wants some from there. We're going to take some pitchers of water and put them in a cooler with some ice.
What do you mean by people who are there?
People who are at the park.
Yes.
So what we noticed last time was it was 1 billion degrees.
Yes.
And it really wasn't even hot yet.
No.
When we went the first time, we're like, "Ooh, it's so hot and humid out here." And kids were drinking water. And I'm not judging anybody's kids, but kids were drinking water, and like kids do, they would go, "Whew," and
just water on the ground.
Throw it down the water bottle. And we're like, "Oh," because somebody said we should bring water bottles to give out. And we were like, But then they would
somebody's got to pick them up.
Somebody's got to pick them up. Which we're happy to do, by the way. And we're going to do that too.
We're going to do that too. We're going to pick up trash.
We're going to pick up trash, but we're also just going to hang out, have a good time. But we're going to make sure they know, hey, water's available if you need to refill your water bottles. We've got water for you to do that with. We're going to have that there. Again, I'd like for that to be for them. Obviously, it's for you too, but let's go second. Let them go first. Yes.
Yeah.
You went.
Oh,
I thought you were going to say something.
I didn't know.
Okay. We're going to do games. Yes?
Yes.
What kind of games?
Well, I think some of you have already mentioned to the pastor some things that you have at home that you can bring. And so I think some of you going to bring cornhole and some sort of frisbee something.
Can jam.
Okay.
Frisbee.
I'm not up on all the words.
Me either.
Does anybody even have a dodgeball anymore these days? A kickball?
Something, yeah.
Something like that.
A ball of some kind.
Yeah, something that's easy to transport. I understand that a lot of those that meet there regularly play cricket. I don't have cricket. I don't know if you have. Well, you just never know.
You don't? Well, that's true.
Regional things. We have people from lots of different places.
That's true.
So you just never know.
And Chuck can do just about anything.
Well, there you go.
My kids think that. So, so that's Sunday night. More details on that coming soon. That's part of our. I said I wasn't going to do. Oh, where'd the sign go? We were doing this to be funny, but that's part of our we serve. Oh, it's backwards. I gotta I don't know how to turn it. We serve NC. There it is. Yeah.
Like this? Do you want to do it like this?
Yeah, that's it.
That's better.
No, actually, here it is.
Oh.
It's like this. We serve NC.
There you go.
So we're gonna. Sorry if I scratched you.
It's okay.
We're partnering with NC Baptist all across the state just to do that. We were going to do it anyway, but it times out to be right on top of that week. The next thing, very quickly because of time, but in September, we're going to do something that we've been itching to do, we're excited to do, but it just takes time to do, and that is
community groups.
Community groups. Now, I would love to tell you we're going to have 1,000. I don't know if I'd love to tell you we're going to have 1,000 community groups. No, what I'm saying is we know we're having.
That sounds exhausting.
That's exactly what I was saying. We know we're having 2, and we're trying to strategically place those. There'll be one on the north side. Lord willing, we'll figure out that other side.
Can I say something just as an appeal? Because some of you may not even know that you want to be a part of a community group or maybe lead, but the Lord's been doing something in your spirit and you want to see Mission Bible grow, not just by numbers, but in faith and in community. And you know what? The introvert who has been in her house for a long time finally stepped out and said, this isn't for me. This is just to let people know anybody can do it. And said, you know what? I'm going to open up my house or my porch or whatever and go through Psalms this summer with people in the neighborhood. It's that easy. You don't have to be a great theologian necessarily. You do have to know how to find the good resources and ask good questions from the right people. But, it's a great way for you to, yes, host people from Mission Bible, but we don't want it to stop there.
Right.
If that may be a couple of people in your group, but we want you to see this as an opportunity of you know what? I've been meaning to get to know my neighbors.
This is a great opportunity to do
And it looks different for everybody. It might be on a porch for some, at a coffee house for others, maybe in your backyard during the fall, which, I really want to do those sorts of things.
Yes.
But, the church will grow
as
we grow within ourselves, one by one. And the kingdom of God will grow and expand because we're intentional. So I just encourage you to pray over the next week, over the next couple weeks.
Very good.
And ask the Lord what part he would have you play. You may be a facilitator. That doesn't mean you're teaching everything. It just means that you're helping engage in conversation.
Together, yep.
And introverts sometimes are really great facilitators.
They really are.
Because they listen and they know how to like put things together.
You don't have to find content. We're doing the content.
Yeah.
So we have that for you.
Yeah. Or maybe you are just helping support. Maybe you're just finally coming to a community group. You've never done that before.
Yeah.
You know, there's
Just
a place for each
Go
person.
deep in the Word.
Yeah, there's a place for each person and each family, you know.
Yes. It's going to be awesome. That's coming in September. And if you have any interest in hosting one, I've already spoken with a couple of you, but if you or somebody else that you haven't talked to me or Brother Mark and you want to host one, let us know. We will see you this Sunday, Lord willing, at Mission Bible Church. Please join us at 3:20 for prayer if you're able. 4 p.m. we begin our time of worship together. Psalm 124 will be in our Summer in the Psalm series.